London, where it seems every other street is made of the same London stock brick. Nice, neat, uniform and yellow. Maybe with a risque bit of red detailing. Until this cheeky little rebel turned up. Red House, an end of terrace with sunburn. Red House has been built on the site of an old garage. You enter and step down to a sunken ground floor, which leads to a living area, kitchen, 2 courtyards and a TV room. Then upstairs are 2 bedrooms on the first floor and a master bedroom with ensuite on the second. Inside, they've dug down the ground floor by over 1 metre, maintaining a low profile, while also spreading out to fill the whole plot to make the ground floor much larger than it appears from the street.
Ah, this is interesting to come straight in on the stairs.
It means we managed to get 3 floors in the space of 2 of our neighbours, so we got effectively a larger house.
Great spatial tricks continue. The ground floor is a series of loosely aligned, wide, slightly weirdly angled rooms, a world away from the dark and narrow spaces you'd expect of a Victorian terrace.
Wow. I mean, this is a beautiful collection of just little interconnected spaces. This is clever stuff.
And what we did was sort of push all the spaces to the edges, and you end up with these kind of courtyards, which make it incredibly private, so we're not overlooked.
Kitchen, lounge, diner, snug. All these familiar spaces are here, but arranged around courtyards in a way that refreshes your idea of what a terraced house can be. Red House was commissioned by a developer as a one-off, and it was bought a year ago by Daisy, a dancer, and her husband Sean, a chief technology officer. Upstairs, the spaces are more conventional, with office, bedroom and bathroom on the first floor and a master bedroom suite on the second. But the stairs that lead you there are anything but.
Typical Victorian house would only allow itself a little bit of detail and interest, usually in the ceilings and the staircase. Is this a little bit of a nod to that detail?
Yeah, I think it is. I think looking at that craftsmanship and how we can bring that into this kind of staircase was, it was an important part of the design.
The curve of the landing is reflected in the arch of the window, part of a single concrete panel that was made off-site. It takes inspiration from the Victorian details of its neighbours. It's a credit to the property developer that they were prepared to invest in a one-off like Red House, but spending still had to be kept within sensible limits.
So with a house like this, what sort of budget are you looking at?
Well, the end figure was under £500,000 for the construction of the property.
To build a house like this, £500,000 with this sort of spatial configuration. Seems like a bit of a steal to me. Red House fuses together the familiarity of Victorian architecture with the boldness of modernism. It links arms with its neighbours whilst quietly asserting itself. And I think it does this with a playfulness that's absolutely captivating.
5 very different houses with distinct personalities, but which will the jury think has the edge that could get them onto the shortlist for the 2018 RIBA House of the Year? So, what have you shortlisted?
We've shortlisted Pheasants.
Pheasants through to the shortlist. There's space for one more from this daring group of buildings. So now, what have you shortlisted?
We've shortlisted Red House.
So we're off with Red House and Pheasants, our first 2 on the shortlist. But 5 more must join them before we find out at the end of the series which has won House of the Year 2018.